Hi guys, just wanted to come on and show everybody how I'll check the weather before I go out on a kayak fishing trip. So by no means am I an expert. If any of you guys see that I've done anything wrong or not quite accurate, yeah, please let me know in the comments. But I'm just going to go over how I would usually check the weather either the day before or if I'm going out, a few things that I do. Now I use a few different weather apps. One of them that I use is Metai by the Bureau of Meteorology. Now one of the places I go to the most is Seacliff. Like I'm fairly local to Seacliff. It's just 10-15 minutes down the road, and you're pretty much always guaranteed to catch something when you go there. So here I've just punched in Adelaide, and it'll bring up like the weather conditions over the next say 5 to 7 days. So we can see today probably some showers, not heavy rain for over the next 3 days. Now what I'll do, I'll close that down, and it's already come up with the wind forecast. So I'll bring that down a tad. Now as you see up here, the time is at 7:30. So say if I want to go see what the wind's doing at 10:30, you've got your chart over here. Normally I'll go out sort of in this range over here. Nothing in the green will I ever go out in. The light blue and the white is preferable. We'll just move that along what's going to be happening during the day. Now you can see on the coast here it's going into the darker blue there, which is still okay, but starting to get a little bit too windy. And then we see later on it's going into the green, where I definitely wouldn't be going out. But so far, sort of early this morning, wasn't too bad around the Seacliff area. If we have a look tomorrow, Thursday, don't want to go out at 1:30, let's say 7:30. So yeah, the wind's really dropped off tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, 10:30, starting to come up a little bit. Still pretty good at 1:30. So tomorrow morning would be ideal wind-wise to go out. Obviously, the further you go down here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the accuracy will drop off. You need to get the updates and check more regularly. Now, if I go, say back to today and go to, say, to 10:30, which is, it's 10 o'clock right now. So we'll go to the waves forecast. So there's a couple of different swells, a primary and secondary swell. So you can see, as in right now, it's between 0.5 and 1 metre swell around the Brighton Seacliff area. It just getting up more and more during the day. So I wouldn't go out later today. It sort of will start getting a little bit uncomfortable. You see in the blue it's getting up over a metre. Now again, looking at Thursday. So 7:30, the swell's back down to under 0.5 of a metre in the morning. 10:30, still good. 1:30, 4:30, so it looks like it's quite low swell all day. If we go to Friday, again, low swell. So the next couple of days swell-wise are looking pretty good. Now, another one that I check, now I've heard all the major apps get all their information from the Bureau of Meteorology anyway, but I get a little bit more information from the other ones. Another one I use is Windy Waves. I've got a premium subscription there. If I just zoom in to say Seacliff, there where we're checking, and I just drop that pin there. So that's what it is right now, 0.5 of a metre. Now that swell is supposed to come through, and that's telling me every 4 seconds, which is, if that was how it really was, not the most comfortable. I've been out there in 0.5 and 0.6 of a metre when it has been every 4 seconds, and it hasn't been the most comfortable. And again, we'll probably see later on today the swell coming up to 0.8 every 4 seconds. Again, the Metai app said that tomorrow was going to be great. So there's 6 a.m, 0.3 every 5 seconds. So it's yeah, quite good. Sometimes when you see that number, that time period, 4 seconds, you'll see it up around the 9 to 11 second mark. That's when you'll have the glass out completely flat. You have those awesome days where it's completely flat. So all day tomorrow is looking good. Friday, looking good as well. 0.5, 0.6. So another app that I like to use, and we'll just double check the wind here for today. 9 knots. Yeah, it's sort of getting up around where I wouldn't really like to go out anything above 10. So again, later on today, not looking good. Thursday, yep, very light wind. And then as usual in the afternoon, it can be up a little bit. Friday, again, light winds, and then in the afternoon starting to come up a little bit and then down. So another one that I'll use, again, is Willy Weather. So I've got Seacliff punched in there. Now what this one shows, so I'm looking at the wind, what it's forecast as moderate today, and the red is what it actually is. So it's been a little bit less wind than what they forecast. And then we'll have a look at tomorrow what's forecast. So gentle again, like the others were saying. And, excuse me, Friday gentle again as well. Now, let's go to the swell. So again, it's showing here, so 0.5 of a metre every 3 seconds. So that one's showing it a little bit closer than what windy waves did. So sometimes they're a bit of a contradiction. So, or different information. So that's 0.5 every 4 seconds, and Willy Weather's showing 0.5 every 3 seconds. Now, what I'll also do, if say I was going to head out now, there's a couple of webcams at Seacliff, which is by the Brighton and Seacliff Yacht Club. Now, remember it's saying half a metre every either 4 seconds or 3 seconds. Now, to me, when I look at that, and I'm looking at, like, there's no waves. So the real life conditions here, sometimes it can be, yeah, a little bit worse out as you go out further out. You'll get a little bit of a swell. But, I mean, half a metre swell relating to hardly any waves is great. There is another camera which they have as well. This one over here. Get that one up. And showing, you know, looks like fairly calm out there. One thing that I'll also look, if I'm heading out, there's a few things that I'll check as well. Sometimes they'll have the flags here, one over here, and sometimes they've got little bits of loose cord or loose rope around here. And quite often there's a couple of flags. So I'm looking at that flag. See this flag over here, right near that caravan? You can see how much the wind is blowing. So I'll use that as well. Now tomorrow morning I am going out to my Pungo, meeting some friends out there in the morning. So I'm going to have a look at what tomorrow is going to be looking like. So I'm going to be there at 7:30. Now the swell's not going to matter, so I'm going to have a look at the wind forecast. So my Pongo's around here, this area. So looking 7:30, looking like light wind, and then 10:30 coming up a tad. Remember this graph here, this legend here. So it's still looking okay. Right up until 1:30, still looking okay. Yep. So all day I wouldn't be out there past 4:30. So my Pongo's looking okay. There. If I go to, say for instance, I'll change this. I'll go back to what Willy Weather says about my Pungo tomorrow, and we'll have a look. So that's on the Fleurieu Peninsula. Go down here, Middleton. Looks like they've got a my Pungo beach there, which I'll have a look at the wind around there anyway. So that's the swell, but I want to look at wind. And you can see what's happening here, like right now. That's the arrows is what was forecast, and in the red, what the wind actually is. So it's stronger right now than what was forecast. Tomorrow, sort of forecast for gentle pretty much all day. And again, we'll check what Willy Weather's saying. Sorry, windy. There's There's my Pungo. And I don't want swell, there's no swell in that area. Wind, yep, 10 knots up a little bit. So again tomorrow, 5 knots. So looks like that'll be good tomorrow. So anyway, hope that helps. I mean, there's a few other webcams around the place. Where's another one? I think there's another one that I can use. Somerton Surf Lifesaving Club as well, which is just a down a little bit, if it's working. No, they got something wrong with their camera at the moment. But anyway, so yeah, I hope this helps you with what I've got going on and what I use to check the weather. And yeah, it'll save a lot of well, you know, going out in dangerous conditions, or a wasted trip going somewhere and finding out that it's you know, the conditions aren't great. Like we had was it a few days ago, those guys off of Victor Harbour in Counter Bay, and they were in their kayak and they in absolute horrible conditions, and they ended up capsizing. You know, that was just crazy. The wind and the swell were obviously not good to go out in, but they still went out there and risked their lives. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've learnt something, and like I said, if anyone can correct me in any information I'm getting wrong, feel free. I'm very tough-skinned. I'm here to learn as well. Feel free to comment and let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.
2 kayaking fishermen have been rescued from rough seas off Fleurieu Peninsula after a freak wave sent them overboard. The pair spent close to an hour in the freezing water while anxious family members watched on.
Back on dry land and in good spirits, these fishermen were all smiles after a frightening hour stranded at sea.
I had been keeping an eye on it and they were clearly struggling.
The men had launched their kayak off Encounter Bay to go fishing when a freak wave sent them overboard. Witnesses and distressed family members raised the alarm just after 10 this morning.
Saw the kayak had capsized, and at that point immediately got onto 000.
Fighting the waves, they were forced to cling on to their upturned vessel while they waited to be rescued. A nearby boatie who was out checking his cray pot spotted the unfolding emergency and raced over. He pulled the pair aboard and brought them to shore. Locals left wondering why the kayakers attempted to go out in rough conditions in the first place.
Clearly, from my point of view, wasn't good weather for kayaks.
Police spoke to the pair while a rescue boat helped retrieve their abandoned kayak, a trip these 2 foolhardy fishermen won't forget anytime soon. Nathan Regter, 7 News.